Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first podcast of the year 2024, live from the farm. No, we're not live. This is pre-recorded, but it's on New Year's Day, you call it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, I have Simba and Mark here with me. And today we will talk about goals versus intentions, because that's what the whole world is up to right now. The enthusiasm for the new year. The hope is alive, and we have big things coming for us. That's the vibe for the new year. So I sound a little bit raspy because we've had a 3-step intention setting activity since last night, and we will share a little bit more about that as we go along. But we did a breath work, and we did like a releasing yell at the end, and something happened with my voice. And also I was up until 11 last night. So I feel like I'm a little bit hungover. But that's, I guess, how it's supposed to be today. All right, so goals versus intention. Simba.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally you look at it like from New Year, from one year to next one, there is shifts. There is, there is a big shift in energy if you look at it traditionally, but more so, most people, depending on how you live your life and what you do, you have some time off between Christmas and New Year's, right? And what happens is when you have some time off, you get some time to reflect on your life, and everyone does it. So it's a collective thing. Everyone is reflecting on how did 2023 go? How's 2024 going to go? And you get together with other people. So I think there's a power of that communal aspect. There's a lot of people doing it worldwide, right? So it's kind of like a energy that's around. So it's a powerful manifesting energy. When I look at goals versus intentions, you can look at goals differently. Goals usually has to do with something that's going to happen in the future, right? And many times the way we set goals in modern coaching is very precise. This is what has to happen, and there's a ladder to go towards that goal. And I can be a little bit flexible, but I should be quite focused on what I want. Versus intention, it's more like a feeling. Feeling my voice today too, sorry. One moment.
Okay, maybe we yeah, so all of us did the breath work, and we can feel it. It was a very powerful session.
Yeah,
But
it was.
yeah, as Simba said, the goals are set in the future, and they are quite rigid. They're very set, and usually so when you talk about goals versus intention, the goal is set and non-flexible, and the intention is fluid, non-rigid, and it can transform and it can change. But the intention is still, you still have it's like it does have a sort of a goal, but it's not a fixed goal. As Simba said, it's a feeling, or it's an arrival to something. And it's like when you set the intention, you also let go of the idea of how this is going to happen. The goal usually has a very straight roadmap, and we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and it's like you have a fixed idea about what is going to happen. And then it's also connected to either you succeed or you fail. That's like the two different options that you have. And usually the goal is like, if things don't go as you plan, then you force your way through it so that you will reach the goal. And the idea that we set a goal on the 31st of December, and then in February, maybe things have changed, but the goal is still the same. And then we push through, even though it's not aligned anymore. We have a mental idea of the goal. And versus the intention is that we have something that we want to accomplish, something that we want to do, but we don't know exactly what it's going to look like. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know exactly when, and we don't know how. And then you will always update the plan based on what's happening in the present moment. So I come from I used a previous timeline of mine was that I worked in advertising, and we did digital projects, and we always wanted the clients to do agile projects, because we knew that if we had a set container and set goal, that we would learn things along the way, and we would make the best solution based on the knowledge that we had. So in a project like that, that's widely accepted how to work like that. But with yourself, you can still set these goals, and then tomorrow you have new information, but you don't change the plan, you don't change the road. And it's like trying to have this round ball and squeeze it into a square hole. It's like, no, it doesn't work, but it's what we agreed on. This is what we decided to do. And it's so when we talk about intention versus goal setting, it's about being fluid. We have no idea what information or what's going to happen to us tomorrow, and based on what's happening tomorrow, we will adapt. And if maybe the intention that we had wasn't maybe things happen, maybe we need to change, maybe that was an idea. It's like iterate, always learn, apply, upgrade.
Yes, thank you for that save. That was amazing.
If you don't see the video, Simba's been huffing and puffing with his muted.
Yeah, something really got in there. Well, that's good. That's something that needs to be moving and to come out. But yeah, just like Sarah said, you know, for me, an intention, it's more flexible and it's based on what you're doing right now, right? For me, an intention is really a practice. You don't always know the result of a practice, and you can be open and flexible to the outcome, versus a goal is more a mental construct that you're trying to get towards, right? So it's like a GPS. I'm going from here to destination X, and there's a roadblock. Oh my God, how am I going to get there? It was a goal. I was going to go this road, right? So whereas an intention would be more like, okay, there's a roadblock. Let's take another way. Let's do this. Let's leave the car. Let's walk. It's more flexible and it's based on adaptability, and it's more based on what you do. It's more of a practice versus an idea or a mental construct or a plan. So we're still moving towards a direction, but the way that we do it will look very differently, because the focus will be very different. We're not just focusing on the future, we're focusing on what I'm doing right now, and what I'm doing right now will lead me to that path, right? How that looks like and when I reach there, that might not be as definitive as when you set a goal, but you will get there, right? So it's more about do your practice and let things happen, let life happen. Versus a goal will be more of a construct that you really want to get to a specific point, and you break it down into steps, which is good. It's needed for certain areas in life. But in terms of how it's being made as New Year's resolutions, I think it can block a lot of possibilities. So I think for that reason, intentions is more comprehensive and more agile and easier to apply in your day-to-day life versus setting the intention early. And we can just see it, like I was a personal trainer for many years, and January was always a boom in the gyms. Everyone bought cards. They ate Christmas food in Sweden, and they're like, "Oh, I feel bloated and I haven't done anything, and I drank so much alcohol, and oh, I'm gonna do something new, right?" So you make all of these decisions based on a feeling in the moment, and then you make a plan, and then you start to do a lot of things, but you don't have the endurance to follow through because it's a mental construct. It doesn't really come from within, and it's not something that you do progressively every day. So that's how you can also look at like a goal and intention. Seems like a good idea in the moment many times, but can you follow up on that? Have you followed up on things like that in the past? If no, maybe overreaching and not really looking at where you're at right now and how you can fulfill that from where you're at right now towards where you want to go.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, for me, the one of our teachers, he said that he was the one who said the goal is in the future and the intention is connected to the present moment. And that's, for me, that felt like, yeah, that's so true. And so it feels like the goal comes from the mind and the intention comes from the body. So it's like, if you want to lead from the mind, you go for the goal. If you want to lead from the body, you go for the intention. And so we've been doing quite some intention setting for this year. We had a 3-step process that we started last night, and we want to share a little bit about what intentions we have set. And we also choose, like, as in intention, we choose a word of the year. So last year was together, and this year is focus. So we decided to do a fire ceremony last night, and quite deep intention setting ceremony where we sat down, the 3 of us, and really went through what this means, and we did some activities around it, and really deepening the process for both the business, for the community, and for the different aspects. And then we had a great fire ceremony, and this morning we met and did a very deep breath work together on the intention. And then now that was just, we finished that an hour ago, and now then we are verbalizing it here in the podcast. So it's energetical yesterday, and then somatic this morning, and then verbal right now. So Mark, what would you say about the word focus? What does that mean for you?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a broad thing, but it's more of not necessarily a focus on one thing, because there are many things that draw our attention in daily life. And so focus is about your awareness on that thing. And so if there are a few important things in your life, then focusing on those things and not being distracted from, external invitations, or other things that you might be slightly interested in, but they're not like your main track. So focus is about, for me anyway, about staying on a path with those things that I'm dedicated to already, that I already have a discipline in, that I'm looking to expand my discipline in. So for me, that's what focus means, in the context of, setting an intention for the new year.
What about you, Simba?
Yeah, I like the acronym of or acronym is the name of focus, the follow one course until success. And success can look very differently, right? Success can sound like we're in the realm of goal, a mental construct. But I really look at focus as, from a martial arts perspective, you do something over and over again until you don't know how to do it wrong, because your body has done it so many times. Your nervous system knows it so well. So it's who you are, it's who you become. So focus really comes down to your practice. And practice, everyone has a practice. Not everyone is aware of it. Some people say, oh, I don't have a practice. Well, that is a practice. Oh, I go to bed late at night. Oh, I keep on fighting, or I feel stressed, or I don't like my life. Well, that is a practice too. Your thoughts, your words, your deeds, and what you're actually doing with it. So it really comes down to practice, focus. And that's one of the first things that I work on with my students, is to really have a look at, or anyone that comes to us, whether it's online or they actually come here physically to the retreat, is to really look at, how does your life look like today? Because everyone knows what the problem is, or have an idea of what they want to change, but they might not realize how comprehensive it is. It comes down to your practice, and your practice is really rooted in what Mark said, the awareness. What are you focusing on? But you bring your focus and awareness to repeatedly is where you will start to go, right? You will steer that direction. And it's not that strange. If you're driving a car or any vehicle and you look a little bit to the side of your road, your whole body's going to go in that direction. Imagine with your words, with your thoughts, with your dreams, with your physical actions, what you eat, what you drink. So that's your practice. That's your lifestyle practice. It will lead you down a certain road. So that's really what focus means for me. It's very related to the practice you do, because it will either raise your awareness and bring you towards where you want to go, or the opposite direction.
Yeah, I like that. The focus for me is or what we've been discussing, the past week, when we've been reflecting on the year and how we want to move forward, and what energies are we feeling that is coming, and that has been very like clear and present. And for us, it has been about choosing our path, going even deeper into the path, choosing, because we've been doing so many things and we know so much, and we have so many trainings and so many things going on. And we felt like this year it was about honing down and decluttering on all levels, but also leveling up our own practice and our own devotion and our own discipline, and really choosing, okay, where are we going and how are we going to get there? And that's not a goal and it's not a plan. It's about, what do we see that we have been doing, and what is it that we need to clean up? So we decided to really focus on main teachers, main philosophies, and really embracing those even deeper, devoting ourselves to our own practice, raising the discipline in our own practice, but also looking deeper into our boundaries and really cleaning up. It's like a spring cleaning, but it's a New Year's cleaning. It's been very interesting couple of weeks, and I feel the shifts are already happening, and there are some things that are coming into our sphere that is becoming more and more clear, and more reality, that is very, very much aligned with this. So on an energetic level, it feels like our path is very clear. It was about making the choices and going deeper into our own truth, and really sharing the truth and showing who we are and what we stand for and what we want to accomplish. So it is about, and to do that, we need to focus, because we all have the same amount of time in the day, and to really do what we came here to do, and to live our purpose and to fulfill our purpose, that needs focus. And we are very, very happy to give it that focus, because it's why we're here, basically. And it's to help people, help conscious leaders to find, true purpose and freedom. And I mean, we have our academy, and we will focus a lot more on the academy also. And we're here to help people become healers themselves, and because we need to be more people helping out there. So it's too slow to go one person at a time. We need to move faster, and so we have many different aspects that we work on: the online offer, the retreat, and the academy. It's like boom, 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 super focused, clear, 3 things.
Yeah, I would say like to make it more tangible for people who are trying to wrap their mind around what is the difference between a goal and an intention, we can use our own example of focus. And let's just say, as a personal goal, I might have an intention to focus more on my meditation practice. I'm just giving an example here. And one way to go about that would be to make a goal. And I would say, okay, I'm going to meditate every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. And what happens in that scenario is then the meditation becomes a checklist. And then when Wednesday comes and you haven't meditated yet, then you have shame and guilt, and you start to be unforgiving to yourself about not following through. Where an intention is, I invite meditation into my life. It's just a big difference there, right? So meditation could happen anywhere. It could happen right now. It could happen on the toilet. It could happen on the airplane, in the car, anywhere. So, the intention makes spaciousness for what it is that you're trying to get, or what it is that you're trying to focus on. And the goal setting is this kind of old paradigm, the old way of doing things, where it's kind of like hanging a thread in front of you and constantly chasing that thread. And that kind of works in certain fields, like in coaching. Helping people to set goals is not a bad thing. Business goals or sales goals, those are good. But when it comes to like what you want to do in your heart doesn't want goals. Your heart wants intentions. So this focus intention that we have collectively put together for ourselves, it has such a deeper meaning than anything I could possibly write on a piece of paper as a goal. And I think that's kind of the shift that people are looking for when they want to understand the paradigm between goals and intentions. So focus is just such a fantastic category for us to have that intention in so many different ways in our life.
I love that how you shared the goal versus intentions, and that, okay, I'm going to do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I don't, and then I start to check it off, and I have these, it's like you check it off in your calendar almost. And if you miss one day, that's a failure.
Right.
And we don't believe in treating ourselves like that. It's become common and acceptable to beat yourself down and beat yourself up because of these things, and we are so hard on ourselves. And it was so cool in the breath work that we did this morning was work harder, but don't be hard on yourself. And that works so well with the discipline that we talk about. But you can't put yourself down because you didn't meditate on Wednesday. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And that's one of the things that I work on with my clients, because people are so hard on themselves. And that's like, we get punished. It's like we get not punished, but we get a bump from the world, we get a collision, and then we get an even harder collision from ourselves. It's like we're super punishing ourselves, and there's absolutely no point in that. I mean, shame and guilt are emotions and sensations in the body. It's a functionality in the body that is there for a reason, to show us when we have maybe been overstepping our boundaries or not listening to someone else's boundaries. So it's a sensation in the body, like, ooh, that was not 100% aligned, but that it's just there to help us navigate, like, okay, I don't do that again. And then that's it. It's not about, oh wow, I'm so stupid, or wow, that was bad, and and that we bring that emotion in deeper into our system, and that we keep it there. It's just supposed to be like a nudge. It's like something that just shows us to guide us in the direction. It's not something that we're supposed to keep and treasure and cherish and keep putting on ourselves. So I really like that saying, that work hard, but don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah, that's a beautiful saying. Work hard on yourself, but don't be hard on yourself. It sets a tone that's once again, goal versus intention. It really emphasizes it in an expression, right? Because you don't have to beat yourself up if you don't succeed. You're doing the best you can course, we want to go somewhere. We need some focus, some discipline, some consistency to actually move ourselves towards that direction. But half of the work is done in why you can't be consistent, or 90% of the work is done in that, right? The how or the why is I mean, the how is not so important as the why, you know. Okay, how do I do this? How do I become more successful? How do I lose weight? How do I feel better? There's endless possibilities and ways of doing so, but why you can't do it, that's what's really interesting, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with that. The goal sets expectations, and many times the goals might not really come from you. I want to do it because I want to be perceived in a certain way, or I want a certain kind of attention from other people, or I believe that because I do this, and something from the outside will come in and make me happy. And that's not really how it works. Not sustainable happiness, right? And I think most people can agree, right? You were a kid, you get a present, you were super happy, and then put it to the side and do something next. External factors doesn't really make you happy. It really is something that comes from within. So I think when it comes to intention, is really starting to listen from the heart, like Mark was saying, to follow that thread from within, not from the mind, right? Not the carrot dangling in front of us and we're trying to run after it, but really follow the heart. What is it the heart wants? And if the heart feels strange to say, follow your body, your gut feeling, your nervous system, whatever it is. But that's something deeper than your mental construct can come up with. Many times the things we come up with mentally, they're not really ours, right? Most thoughts, most things that happens in your head are not really ours, because we are beings that pick up from the environment everything that we come in contact with. So it's really about decluttering all of that and coming back. What is it that is trying to come out? And I believe that is the essence of intention. You really start to live from a different place, versus setting all of these goals and beating yourself up if you don't succeed with them. And then you start to compare yourself with someone else. Oh, that's so easy for this person, but I keep on doing this and I don't, whatever it is, right? And I don't really think that's fair to us or to anyone else, because you don't know that person that it seems to have everything going for them and everything looks easy. You don't know their path. We don't know. We know what they tell us, but you don't know the path they walk to get to the point where they're at today. So I really think intention is less about comparing and looking at the outside, and really coming back to the inside and letting that, whatever we call that, inner essence guide us forward.
Yeah, I feel that I love that. I feel that this comparison and this belief that we are all the same. I mean, we are the same and we are worth the same, but we have different paths. We're here for different reasons. We are here to do different things. We're here to learn different things. So one goal for one person is it's impossible to compare yourself, even though you have the same goal, because you don't have the same circumstances, you don't have the same starting point, you don't have the same resources. And with with a goal, then to get the goal, you start to hear things like grit, and you just go hard or go home, or this crazy, it's just, for me, those are all about, don't listen to the body, just push through no matter what, because the goal is more important than anything else. And that's when you really start to get into your head and override the bodily symptoms or the bodily communication. And we all know what happens when we disconnect from the body. I mean, nothing good comes out of that. So intention is really, really going from the body.
I mean, it's like any journey. It's like the three of us right here. If we're going to walk up the same mountain and it's really steep, it's the same distance. We're going the same exact terrain route, right? But it will be a very different journey for the three of us. It might be super easy for one, might be super hard for someone else, might be somewhere in between. Well, it's the exact same journey when you just look at it, but you don't know because what is it that happens inside of me when I am walking on this journey?
Mm.
That's really what's interesting, you know, that's really coming back to the intention, you know, where am I coming from? Did I actually want to do it? And I am a perfect example of that. I was working with a lot of things that I thought I wanted to do, which I didn't want to do. And I was doing them progressively getting better and better at, well, still amateur level. I didn't really get to like professional levels of it, but I got very far into something that I believed I was supposed to do and that I thought I wanted to do. And then when I realized that's not what I want to do actually, then I start going, you know, these thoughts starts to come up within me. How far can I go if I actually do something that I do want, that I am called to go towards, right? And I think that's a big shift. If you actually call towards going in a direction versus I think I'm gonna go, that will change all of this. Are you struggling with? Are you challenged with? Have you tried this and failed and all of that stuff? This just comes from a mindset. It really comes from a mindset and past experiences, and we may or may not be aware of it, but it really goes from thinking to feeling and connecting to that sensation. So yeah, I would say the intention is really crucial with that, going back into the internal core and letting that drive you forward and not just creating these external concepts and ideas. And when I have this, I will feel this way. When this comes, this will happen. When, if, and you don't know. When it comes, you most likely won't feel the way you think you feel, right? So it's really about working with your feelings right now. Can you be happy, satisfied with what you have right now? Well, then you're probably going to be more happy and satisfied if you have more of what you have right now. But if you're not happy and satisfied with what you have right now, I mean, chances, in my experience, is not so high that you're going to feel magically better just because you get a lot of money or something else, right? It's not going to fix that for you because that's your journey, that's your job, that's your challenge, you know, that's your gift too, to work through that essence so that you can feel happy and then you can have more of whatever it is you want to have.
Love that. So, what would you say is your personal intentions for this year, Mark? What would you say is your personal intention?
My personal intentions, similar to what we've been talking about, the intention isn't a specific goal. So discipline is an intention for me. Devotion is an intention. And today we discovered a new intention, which is inspiration. So those are my three main areas. And because they're intentions and not goals, I invite those things to show themselves to me naturally and let them unfold this year in ways that I may not have seen coming, in unexpected ways. And like always, I let spirit guide me to the situations in which I need to best understand those intentions. So all I can do is set the intention, and the rest the universe will provide to me.
What about you, Simba?
Yeah, I feel the teacher aspect is really calling. I am aware I will always be a student, and I'm happy with that. But I'm also feeling it's time to step into the teacher role as well more and to share, because I've been studying a lot of things for a long time and had a lot of lineages that I've been following, and I really want to share that with people. And it's really connected to what Mark said as well, you know, with the focus, devotion, and consistency, right? Being very consistent. But something that also has come up is back to nature, with all the energy work that I'm doing, to really go back to nature, connect with nature, and teach others to do it. And it might seem a little bit strange in the beginning, connecting to nature, but it's a very special essence once you actually get guided into having an experience of that, because it can change you and it can really bring about something different. So back to nature, say devotion, teacher, entering into that role or that energy, and sharing more, just sharing my journey more with people.
Love that. Thank you guys for sharing. And my intention is to be more visible and share my truth and my voice more, and get even more out of my comfort zone doing that, and see what the universe has in store for me by setting that intention. Also going deeper into my spiritual practice, really choosing my teacher and going deeper, and making those choices and the discipline and the devotion into that, and really allowing things to fall off, and to see what am I attached to and what am I not attached to. It's a very interesting journey to do that. And the third one, I would say, go deeper into my body in all aspects. I'm doing a lot of work with feminine embodiment and things like that, but it's not so, it is about the feminine embodiment, but it's also about my body in just my body. And exploring that even deeper. And I am working on a lot of energetics in and around that, and yeah, both for myself but also as a teaching. And then we do a lot of other things, but those are my main ones, I think.
Good list.
Yeah, it's a great list. And I kind of feel energy is coming for all of us, like energy healing or working more intuitive might be a different word to say, like working a lot with intuition and also sharing ways for people to connect to the intuition. And I feel, that kind of encompasses what we talked about today as well, the goal versus the intention, and having the courage to follow that and not just getting stuck in the mental clutter that's up and what other people think, to really follow your own path.
I think that's a big one for all of us to become even closer, the three of us, and really, how to say, like really live our truth and take accountability for that and take ownership of that, and wherever that will take us, I would say. And we do it together. So last year's word was together. We did a lot of things together, and we had that word of the energy of the word into every single decision that we made. And an example that we share sometimes is when we were getting our new car, the plan was to get a car that is like, we're in the farm, we're in the countryside, so we have a truck. So we get a big enough one so everyone can fit. We're going together. And then also, okay, so I think Mark or you guys wanted to have a manual stick. And then I said, well, I don't feel comfortable driving that, and so there's a couple of the staff who doesn't feel super comfortable with driving that either. So I said, if everyone's going to drive, then we should have an automatic. And it was like, and then we had a little bit of discussion about that, and it was like, okay, word of the year, together. Okay, we're going together. Of course, we're getting an automatic gear. So it's things like that. It can be in the big stuff and in the small stuff. So right now we have already come to a couple of discussions where we have different ideas or things that we want to do, and then like, okay, is that focused? No. And then it's very clear. Then it's like, okay, we know what we're going to focus on, because we sat down and discussed what is that focus, what does it mean. And it came very clearly to us that focus was the word of the year, because that's where the energies were going, and we had to do that to get out of certain energies that we found ourselves in a while back. And okay, we need to focus, and this is what's happening. Okay, so then we chose, it came very easy, very clear. And then we use that in everything we do. It's like, okay, now we need to focus. And then there's the balance in that, so that we discussed yesterday also in the intention setting, that there needs to be a balance. I mean, with focus, it's easy to get into that grit sensation because you're very focused and you keep on going, but it's the balance there to not get too, I mean, you gotta live also, and we really work away from the work-life balance. It just needs to be balanced, because when you live your purpose, things get a bit different. So it's more difficult to separate what is life and what is purpose and what is work and what is what, because it's so, I mean, for us, this is our path, this is our devotion. For many, many years now, the only thing that we've been doing is to heal ourselves, focus on ourselves, and create an environment where other people can come and heal very, very deeply. And we are very devoted to our practice and the path that we have chosen, or the path that has chosen us also. So everything, it's easy to get the personal and the work to get entangled, and we live where we work, and it's also important to have balance in that too. Where am I the individual? Where am I the community? When am I a teacher? When am I not a teacher? And that started to become also messy. So that's also why we decided to focus and really bring in that teacher energy, because that's where we're going, and to make those choices, and yeah, doing it together.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I really, really agree on that. That is the focus of the year. That is the word of the year, to be focused.
Yeah. All right, guys. Do you have any last comments, questions, manifests?
No,
Anything
we
to
have,
send off do we have any recommendations for the listeners?
well, just like we did, we set an intention to have an intentional intention setting. So we did these 3 different events, and I think that's probably the most powerful intention setting that I've ever done. Sometimes people sit down on New Year's Eve and say like, "Oh shit, what am I going to do this year? What am I going to change?" But we really put a lot of effort into it, and even weeks building up to making an intention. So there was intention in the process of setting the intention, which sounds meta, but it's very real.
Time and a space, I would say, is really what I felt we did. We gave it time and space for something to come out. We didn't come with a prefixed condition or an idea. This is what we're going to do. We created a space for something to come up, and had that devotion and patience to allow it to come up. So how would that look like if you go into the year? Yeah, like Mark said, with the meditation, it's not about doing meditation Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Create space for something to happen. Of course, we need consistency to get somewhere, but set off a space, half an hour here, 20 minutes here. And it doesn't have to be that I'm going to do this specific thing. I'm going to use this 20 minutes for what I need, what's the best for me right now. And that's how I started a couple of years ago. I was super stressed out. And sometimes that winded up being staring at the wall and just being okay with that for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. And I was like, great. I needed that. I needed to zone out a little bit because I was too stressed out. So I think really that's what I want to leave. Like, set up a space for something to happen and allow whatever happens in that container to be beneficial for you to move forward.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we will be moving into 2024 with a lot of enthusiasm and focus. And our next cohort for the mentorship program is starting on February 5, I think. And that's our online 6-month commitment, where we go deep into the somatic practices, and you get a lot of personal support depending on what tier you choose. There are different levels. It's the group level, it's the private sessions, and then you have the ascension level with me when you really want to make bold moves. And because all about making moves is about the nervous system being able to hold your changes. So when you work with me, then you have the support of Simba and Mark as well when you make the moves to really work through the nervous system and to release the blockages that is actually holding ourselves back. So we have all the somatic practices, deep, intentional somatic work with Simba and Mark, and then making the moves with me, the strategic, the planning, the voicing, the steps, making the moves. And then we also have our new retreat set up. Everyone starts at the same day. It's a 21-day journey here in the jungle outside of Chiang Mai, Thailand, where you go very deep into the somatic work to really unlock whatever it is that is holding you back. It can be anything that is, you're feeling like, oh, I've been wanting to do this or that for a long time, but there's something holding me back. Or there can be a spiritual journey that you are embarking on, or any health issues. But we launched the new year with a completely new setup. So it's a 21-day journey that is a condensed, well-tested journey. So it's the result of all the knowledge that we have done and learned over these years, and everything is tried and tested. So we only use the things that are really works. So it's like a quantum leap retreat experience. Anything can happen during those days. So yeah, we're very excited about starting the year next week with our first. It's already fully booked. It's a men's retreat. That's all the men came at the same time. And then we have one in February, one in March, one in April, and so on. You can tune into our website to see the starting dates, and please let us know if you're curious and interested. It's a big journey, so we always set up a free consultation to answer any of your questions. So let us know if you are ready to dive deep with us, because we are super ready and we're super focused. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, and see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.